people of the present if you're watching this live, and people of the future if you're watching a recording. Today is Thursday, it's not Sunday, and I decided to do an extra bonus live stream since I have the time and I have to work on cards anyway. So today I'm going to do sort of a brainstorming session that will help me create cards for the last iteration or latest iteration of the base set. And let's start. So first, before I start actually creating the cards, I thought I would write down what all the characteristics of the different colors are in terms of what sort of creatures they might have, what sort of strategies they have, and what sort of buildings and ships they have. And this will be a thing I'll be referencing throughout today, hopefully so that I don't stray too far from the template. Okay, let me fix a few things now with the stream. Okay, everything is working fine. Anyway, let's start with red. Red is the first color of the rainbow. Okay, new layer. The color with the longest waves, because once you go beyond red, you go infrared. This really has nothing to do with anything. Let me fix the brush before I start. Okay, this is a little big. Go a little smaller. Red. Okay, red was once the color that had the resource attached to it, metal and minerals. I have most of the strategies in my head, and hopefully I'll remember everything that all of the colors do, but if I leave anything out, then when I'm creating cards, I'll go back and fix some things. Anyway, its strategy is mostly direct, because they tend to have faster creatures and faster ships, cheap ships. So let's just start writing. Cheap, fast ships. It's one of the characteristics of the color. The strategy is mostly direct, which means trying to, let me write direct first, trying to conquer your opponent's home planet, which was the original way of winning the game. And it tries to attack with ships. Actually, how shall we do this? I think that maybe I should have thought this through a little bit more. Let's put, oh whoops, let's put red. What am I doing here? Let's do sort of a table. What's it called? A chart, I guess. Here I can put strategy. And here we put direct. Then main attackers. And we can put ships here. I'll explain this in a second. And maybe this is not strategy. I put this, call this something else. I put this strategy here. And this can be a win condition. Okay, the win condition is direct. The main attackers are ships. Strategy is aggro. Okay, so what have I done right here? If you've seen episode 12 of Let's Make a Trading Card Game, I explained there that now that I have added the new win condition and boarding, I have two more dynamics to think about when creating cards and decks and strategies and everything. Decks now can be more oriented in winning the direct way when you attack your opponent's home planet, or the expansive way when you try to conquer as many planets as possible on the galaxy. Then there's a new dynamic of attacking with different things. You can now choose whether to build your deck more around creatures, making them attack with the new boarding mechanic, or with ships without the boarding strategy. And the strategies are the third and actually the very first dynamic, which is created by adding a resource system, and it divides the decks into more aggressive and more defensive strategies. So aggressive is aggro, and defensive is usually called control. Plus there's combo, but that's a different thing. I'll try to put in different words here so that every color has different combinations. I'm not sure how this will end up, but let's see. Orange. If this fails, then I'll just have to list all of the characteristics of all of the colors to a degree which gives me enough information for creating cards. Orange was once the color of labor and of hard work and solidarity, which is the same thing. Hard work, yeah. Its win condition. Okay, its main attackers. Let's start with the attackers. This is simple. It's creatures. Orange's main strategy in terms of creatures versus ships is attacking with creatures. They tend to go and try hand-to-hand combat, so boarding ships and all of that. The strategy, I guess it's more mid-range between aggressive and defensive. I don't see a preference, so let's put mid-range. There'll be cards that are more aggressive and there'll be cards that are more defensive. Win condition, again, I'm not really sure if their philosophy is mainly to work together to achieve goals, then maybe the more the merrier. So maybe the main win condition is to expand and let's write expansive. Not expensive, but expansive, from the word expansion. This looks right. Then yellow, which was once the color of gold, and it still is the color of gold, and trade. Actually, let's write politics, because trade and gold, go really together. Politics. Okay, its win condition. I guess they can go for either one, so let's write mid-range here. Main attackers. I'm thinking more ships than creatures, because actually, I'm not sure. They will have a little bit of both, but main attackers are, I think, ships. Since the yellow creatures focus on trade and politics, they won't be great at fighting. That's my logic behind this. Although they can pay for like professional pilots or maybe bounty hunters, but that's a sub-theme, I think, of the color. Let me go like here. And between aggressive and control, I'm thinking control, because again, with politics, you tend to manipulate. You know, it's not a very direct strategy of the politicians. Usually, they tend to do all sorts of manipulation to get to where they want to be. And I'm not getting any messages for some reason. Is everything okay? Let me do a few things. Maybe it's just that there's nobody here. That's also possible. It looks, yeah, I'm just all by myself. Oh. Weird, usually there's somebody here. Anyway, let's continue. I think this is working out fine. Green is the next color. This will cover all of the 6 colors. It's a strange way of putting them, but I mean, I understand where everything is. I know this isn't the right way of drawing these sort of, what are these called? I can't remember. Oh, whoops. Let's write win condition. Main attackers. And strategy. So far we can see that red has the most narrow, let's say, identity, because say orange has a mid-range strategy. It can be more aggressive and more defensive, so they have a little bit of space to work around in this particular thing. The strategy is a little too vague of a word. Let's write actually no, resource strategy makes no sense anyway. Yellow has a mid-range win condition, so they can have a little bit of more space in there, and red condition direct, main attackers, ships, strategy aggro. Unless I change this to mid-range, the attackers to mid-range, then for now red has the smallest identity. I think this works for now. Maybe once I fill everything up, I'll have to shift a few things around. Now green's win condition is usually expansive. They can try and destroy all the buildings on an opponent's planet, but green, okay, I haven't written what green stands for. It was once the color of food. It still is the color. Why do I keep saying it was? The color of food, and not material resources. Material resources is more yellow. Green energy, I guess. Food and nature. Let's write nature, even though nature is not a resource. I mean, it kind of is. Natural resources that are not depletable, you know, like wood and food and water and solar resource, solar energy. So let's write green. Green resource seems bad. Anyway, win condition expansive, main attackers, creatures. This is really simple. And strategy, I'm guessing either mid-range or combo, although So control is a slower strategy. I'll just write combo because green, as in my opinion, will have the weakest and the smallest amount of ships, and their main way of winning the game is expanding through creatures, planting creatures on other planets and growing that way. Although if I had to choose between aggressive, mid-range and control, I go with mid-range here. Because it's not really control green strategy. Blue, let's put violet right now. Blue was once the blue is the color of knowledge and wisdom. Same thing, kind of. Win condition, both, I guess. So let's go mid. Strategy, definitely control. And main attackers, ships, because again, the creatures, blue's creatures won't be as powerful since their focus is wisdom and knowledge and learning, and they won't be fighting as much as the other colors. Violet is the color of how do I put this? Sort of artificial resource and things that are let's make it I never put it in words. Depletable resource, pollution, sort of. And artificial electricity, maybe. Let's. Technology, actually, I think, is the right word. Technology. Even though red and blue and gold all use pretty advanced technology, violet is the more ruthless of the colors. They really don't care what happens to other creatures, other people, even on the same planet. They don't care what happens to the planet as long as technology works. They have the evil sort of robots that conquer the world. Win condition, let me see. So we've got 1 direct win condition, 2 expansive, and 2 mid-range. So I'm guessing this will go direct, which fits. They don't care about expanding their domains as long as they destroy the main threat. Then they can do everything else. Main attackers, let's see, we've got ships, creatures, ships, creatures, ships, creatures. I'm guessing violet should be. No, it doesn't fit that well. Violet, I'm guessing ships. Although I don't have any mid-ranges here, so maybe I have to change some things here. Okay, let me think. So that every color is balanced with each other. All of the dynamics have to be in every color, if you understand what I'm saying. I don't know if you do, actually. But basically, I'm dividing all of the different categories, all of the different strategies in terms of win condition, main attackers, and resources between the 6 colors, so that everything is spread out pretty much evenly. So red has ships, Orange has creature. Okay, orange has creatures. This makes perfect sense. And green creatures makes also perfect sense. Yellow, I guess they can pay for anything. For, as I've said before, for pirates and bounty hunters. So maybe this one can be mid-range. Blue makes sense. Ships. Red also kind of can be mid-range, although yeah, why not? Actually, they can maybe attack with any forces they have. So if these two are turned into mid-range, then we have space to put ships here. But then I'm not sure. Okay, let's put a question mark here. I'm not sure right now if this should be ships or mid-range. Strategy, let's see, we've got one aggressive, two mid-ranges to control, and again this would be, violet should be aggressive according to this graph. Let's go the other route. Let's see what color will be mainly the aggressive color. Okay, red makes sense because they are focused on war, and violet I guess too, because they really don't care about, though if you look right now, red and violet don't have any differences actually. So let's put, oh, this is really hard actually. Oh, I thought this wouldn't be as hard as it is. Let me check. I don't know what's going on here. I guess just there's nobody here. That's embarrassing. But I guess, you know, today is Thursday, and usually I do these things on Sunday, and in the United States, where most of my followers are, it's pretty early. It's still, most people are still at work, so that's why nobody is here, I think. Okay, well, I'm still here. Violet, pollution and technology. Let's go mid-range here. I feel like violet can be both aggressive if they want to, and controlling, and they also can manipulate creatures and their opponent's stuff. So let's put mid-range here. And now we have one aggressive, three mid-ranges, and two control. And if we change, okay, green can't be changed to aggressive. It makes no sense. It's not a fast color. Yellow isn't a fast color. You know, the more I think about this third category makes less and less sense, because every color has an aggressive component and a controlling component, except red, whose main problem has to be that they burn out fast and they don't have the tools to win a long game. At least that's my view. Maybe if we, okay, let's get this row figured out. So we have creatures, that's fine. Maybe another color can be focused on attacking with creatures. Blue makes no sense. Violet and red and yellow makes little sense. Let's put mid-range on yellow. And mid-range on violet. I think either violet or red. Red is the color of war, of metal, minerals, pollution, technology. They are kind of similar. Let's put mid-range here. Violet doesn't, I mean, I'm thinking that red doesn't really care as much, and they are a little more aggressive in terms of going to war, than, you know, themselves going to war, the creatures going to war. And Violet is more offhand, and maybe they can make robots, but the actual living creatures don't go. So let's put ships here, right? I think everything works out. Anyway, I'm not sure. I want to put... So what do we have here? We've got one mid-range thing here, one here, two here, one here, one here, and one here. Aggro, mid-range control, mid-range control, mid-range. Well, this is really hard to balance out. Maybe this wasn't the best idea. Let's try something different. Let's just list all of the colors. Put them here. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. And let's write down some things, just brainstorming. This thing is about brainstorming, right? Let's put ideas of what things we want to see in the different colors. And I think we can start actually making cards, because I've been here almost half an hour and I still haven't done a single card. So red has burn. What burn is direct damage. It's actions that deal damage to things, to creatures or structures, and are destructive, and that's the most direct way of dealing damage. Why did I write bird? Burn. Actually, let's write direct damage. Another thing that red can have, let's see, do they have robots? I guess so, yeah. War machines are part of war. Let's write war machine. Mechs, maybe. Yeah, mech. As I've said, fast, cheap ships. Okay, let me think. Pilots and captains and officers and people that are trained in the military. So let's write military personnel, I guess. I think that's how you write it, personnel. And can't think of anything else right now. What kind of buildings they have? I guess, again, going with the war theme, turrets. And what about factories or mines? They are kind of auxiliary things. They help out with adding more resource. Sure, why not? I think this is more closer to Orange's thing, especially mines, because they need a lot of big buff dudes inside of them to extract whatever the mine extracts. So maybe let's just generally write factories. Okay, that's enough. I think orange has, okay, it's the color of work. So what do people do when they work? They maybe build buildings. So let's write buildings. they can, let's write mines. Mines, I'm assuming they get you more resource, so it's a way of gathering more resource. Boarding strategies and hand-to-hand combat. Then mines and buildings. Oh, let me see. Expansive mainly. Okay, so their ships, I guess, are the ones that are best suited to deal with boarding strategies. So what kind of ships is that? I don't know, actually. You don't care about the ship that much if your strategy is boarding. So maybe they'll be slower. Let's just write generic. They don't really care about their ships. They care more about their spirit and, you know, strength of heart and of the body. What kind of strategies? So maybe the weenie strategy with a huge amount of, no, that's more green. Buffing creatures, I think, should be an orange thing. Making them stronger. And healing each other, I guess. Yeah. Oh, actually, okay, healing creatures and fixing things. Fixing things also requires a lot of work. So let's write fixing structures. How many things have I written here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's 7. Now yellow. Yellow uses trade. Trades the resources and maybe not cards, but cards for resources, and tries to get the best things out of the deal. Politics. I don't know how this will be implemented in the game, but there have to be some sort of politics involved and economics. And so farms and things to produce goods. Actually, let's write cities, because cities usually have a lot of money going through them, a lot of transactions, a lot of things that happen in cities that are civilian and that involve gold in some way. So that's what I'm thinking. Let's write economy here. They can have hired professionals. Let's write here professionals. So they can have the best maybe creatures in certain fields, but they cost a lot of resource, a lot of gold, a lot of yellow resource. And okay, we've got that. We've got deals with the opponent, and maybe with the planets that are not yours and not your opponents. What are they called? Neutral planets. Neutral. Sorry if I'm taking a long time writing all of this, but I think this is actually really important. This is a lot more important than what I wrote here. What I'm writing with neutral planets. Next. Oh, yellow kind of has a little more difficult for me to write about. What sort of ships? Oh, cargo ships? Let's write cargo ships. So they're kind of bulky, and maybe they are more armored and contain a lot of things inside. And I'm thinking yellow can have the weenie strategy with a lot of creatures, since they have cities, although they won't use those creatures to attack. Not the civilians, at least. Okay, I can't think of anything else right now. Maybe I'll go back to yellow. Green, on the other hand, has plants. I don't know how that will play out. So maybe you can chop plants to make to get wood and add more resource that way. And then they have diseases, which is a more darker weapon that green has, and is also part of the expansive strategy. Then they have okay, let's just write big creatures. Orange has big creatures, but they're more actual warriors, when green's big creatures are beasts and mastodons and just natural things. No, beasts. That's basically what they are. And I'm putting myself on the spot here. Green, their ships, if they have any ships, which their ships are if there are not many. I'm thinking they can use green energy, so maybe they're either solar powered with solar sails, or either way they're not the fastest or the best by any means, or the toughest. So let's just write weak ships. And okay, I've got that. It gets kind of harder to come up with different things that the creatures, the colors do. Let me go back to yellow for a second. How professionals deal with neutral planets, cargo ships, politics, cities, trade. Let me think. So I guess buildings. Yeah, I've written cities here. Oh, come on, come up with another. I really can't come up with anything else. Actually, I think diplomacy. I haven't written diplomacy here. So maybe one of their strategies would be not to attack. So I don't attack you as long as you don't attack me, or something like that. Or you can't attack me as long as I don't attack you, or something. Or maybe we don't attack each other for 3 turns. How about that? So they try to stall the game and get everything running, get a lot of resources, and then attack their opponent. So yellow, as you can see here, is control, so it's a slower color. So this works. Okay, now we've got red covered, orange, and yellow covered. Green, for some reason, I'm not so. I can't think of more things right now. Plants, diseases, big creatures, weak ships, and healing creatures. It's a thing that they do. So orange doesn't have healing creatures anymore, I think. Well, they can both have healing strategies, although green's plants grow every turn and heal. Maybe instead of writing healing, let's write growth. And then we have to figure out how to implement growth in game. growth of plants and of societies, and oh, here we can have the weenie strategy. Weenie, or they're also called swarm. Let's write swarm, it's a better word. Basically, attacking with lots and lots and lots of creatures. And I think that since green has the most creatures and has big creatures, swarm is a good strategy. Since yellow, they have a lot of small creatures, but they don't tend to attack with them. They're more civilian. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another thing. Oh, come on! I have to think about another word associated with green. Nature. I haven't written about getting more resources, which is one of green's main things. How do they do it? They actually can do it in other ways. Let's just write resource ramp, which means accelerating the amount of resources that your planet or that anything produces each turn. So, okay, we've got a green card, except for this resource ramp, which is a little bit of a cheat because orange has a resource ramp with mines here, and red red doesn't have one, yellow has one. Blue, let's see, blue is the color of wisdom, so they have they tend to explore the galaxy before they do anything else. Before they tend to want to know more about the galaxy. So let's just write exploration. And this means also that there are, for example, astronomers that look at the sky and learn about what's there, and so that the blue player has more knowledge than the other player before actually going in and attacking. So exploration is a big part of blue. Then there's card draw. Actually, let's write card selection, which I guess is the thing that yellow does as well, card draw. Except that yellow pays resource to usually trades stuff for cards. Maybe, yeah, a lot of resource for cards, and blue, although it's the same thing more or less. Blue, although the flavor is different. Okay, the flavor of card draw in yellow is that you buy things. You buy equipment and you get it into your hand. In blue, it's different. You learn about things and you have more selection, a better selection of weapons and things that you can do because you've learned more than your opponent. So let's write card selection. Then they have defensive and ranged ships. Let's write range. Blue doesn't like to attack with creatures. They tend to attack with ships and with other means, maybe even buildings and stuff. And not only that, they attack from far away, so that there's no way that their creatures are endangered in any way. So that's the thing that blue tends to do. Yellow can do sort of that thing also, and violet, I guess, but blue is more focused on that. Ranged ships. Let me think. Okay. Guess shields and protecting their structures and creatures from the opponent's things. Okay, let me think. Kind of hard to come up with cards that tell you what the color's identity is. Let's check this for a moment. Still nobody. Come on, that's weird. Wow, that's embarrassing. Okay, I'll just have to talk to myself. That's sad. I am streaming, right? I am, yeah. Stop streaming. Start recording. Yeah, I am. I don't know. Sometimes I forget even to click on the right button. Okay, shields. Then next thing is they are more science oriented. So what's the deal with science? They maybe do experiments. How do you do it? How do you experiments? Labs. Okay, blue. I'm thinking since they're the color of technology also, as well as violet, they will have robots. Robot helpers, that's right. That will aid blue in whatever they try to do. Like specific things, though. There will be a blue robot that translates, a blue robot that cleans up, a blue robot that I don't know. Robots. It's kind of a vague thing. Red, I think, could have robots as long as they're battle droids. Violet can have robots, and blue also, but they're different. So red will have more, as I've said, battle droids. Blue will have robot helpers, more akin to C-3PO and R2-D2 from Star Wars, and Violet can have the evil mastermind robots that don't care about humanity, that are evil. I don't know what movie has these sort of robots that are way too into themselves and dislike humanity. I guess HAL from 2001: Space Odyssey is that sort of robot. This makes me think about drones. Blue and drones. How do I think about that? So drones are self-piloted ships, basically. I guess that makes sense. Drones. Although, to maintain the difference between blue and violet, blue still need creatures to do things. So the creatures are the knowledgeable ones, and the drones and the robots are results of the technology that and the science that the creatures do. And violet goes straight for the technology, I think. Maybe violet is not so technological. Okay. Now we're getting into the similarities about colors. So far, I think every color has its own defined identity, which is a relief, because last time that I had 6 colors, they weren't as defined, especially like the difference between orange and red, which now is a lot. It's the difference between orange and red is more than orange and yellow. Oh no, maybe not. More than what it looks like blue and violet, or violet and red. Anyway, I've been stalling, trying to think of other things. Shields, robot helper, and drones. Anything else that blue can do? Card draw, manipulation, okay, predictions. Maybe once you have enough knowledge, you can do all sorts of huge things that the other colors just don't know how to do. For example, moving planets, just crazy things, exploding stars. So let's just write manipulation. of the galaxy. This sounds fun. And okay, I don't know about drones actually, but maybe it's a thing that blue and violet can have in common. Manipulation of the galaxy, and I actually want to another thing. Strategic planning actions that do trickery, I guess. Tricking your opponent into doing things that they didn't want to do, or catching them off guard. Okay, what's it called when you tamper with a thing and then it destroys itself? It blows up. So that's called what's it called? Sabotage. That's right, sabotage. That's the thing that blue does. Sabotage and trickery. Okay, so now blue has a little bit stronger of an identity. And let's go with violet. So violet has factories that pollute the air and get resources. Factories. Now, I remember writing factories here in red, but they are different, these kinds of factories. So I have to specify here factories that make things. Actually, no. Yeah, so these red factories are ones that make structures, make robots or cars or whatever, ships, and the violet ones are the ones that extract things from the earth. So sort of like oil. I don't know what these things are called, the things that go like this and extract oil from the ground. Well, let's just write oil wells. I don't know if that's the right word, but that's what I'm trying to say. Then pollution, so like attacking with gas and with chemical weapons. Let's write chemical weapons. Pollution. Pollution means why would you use pollution? Why would you pollute your own planet? This essentially what this means is sacrificing your own creatures and your own things in order to get either more resource or more cards or something. So anything for power, basically anything. Pollution is a big thing of violet. No other color really does that. Then let's see, chemical weapons. Okay, we talked about robots. Let's write drones here. Soulless machines that destroy, and that's all they do. Okay. Manipulation also is a part of violet. Mind control, just foul things. Violet is a very foul color. Oh, there's somebody here. Hello, Gameg1. Cybernetic squids for blue. That's a little specific. I'm just coming up with very broad concepts. Cybernetic squids, sure. I can have cybernetic squids, but this is more of a list of concepts that apply to the colors and not specific things that you might find in one set. Manipulation of creatures. Okay, look, I've written so much here already. Has it been almost an hour? I seem to remember you from somewhere, Gameg1. Are you a subscriber or are you? How do How do you know me? Wait, I opened the wrong thing. Okay. Are you a subscriber on YouTube, or are you just here? Have you found me on Twitch by accident? This happens, actually. Lately, it's been happening a lot more often. Okay, I'm almost done with this thing. I can actually start making cards in a while once I finish Violet. I need another couple of keywords here. I've been trying to come up with the things for a while. It's been quite difficult trying to talk to myself and coming up with identities for all the 6 colors. Anyway, so quit stalling, Leandro. Okay, chemical weapons, pollution drones, manipulation of creatures. Mines is more of an orange thing. Factories is more of a red thing. Come on. I guess cyborgs can be Violet's thing because they are a product of technology and are enhanced creatures basically, and no other color would deform their own body, I guess, in order to be stronger. So let's go with cyborgs. Yes, I am a subscriber on YouTube. How about Violet makes sludge that will hurt them in the long term? Sludge? Yeah, that works for Violet. Sludges and poisons, diseases. Sludges. So yeah, I guess something that will make your opponent's creature not move or just incapacitate them. How can I write this in a single word or a phrase? So I'm guessing incapacitating. I don't know if that's the right word, but basically, yeah, let's write this. Incapacitate creatures. Okay. Let's write kamikaze also here. Again, no other color would use self-destruct mechanisms. I guess red or orange, but that's more for glory. And violet blows up its own creatures. So it's not really kamikaze, it's more like throwing your own bodies at your opponent. So let's just write it as sacrificing creatures. Okay, finally, I'm done with this, and I can start making cards. No, the sludge will hurt the violet, but will make them have powerful cards abilities. That seems like a specific thing. I'm thinking in the future, like cyborg for example, is a big category of creatures. You can make all sorts of cyborgs, and I don't know if you can make a lot of different types of. It's not a central aspect of the color. I'm thinking it can be a few cards spaced out, like a card in this set, a card in this set. Okay, I'll keep it in mind though. Sludge. Okay, let's save this actually. This might be an important thing. I don't know. Sure. Okay, and let's go here. Card database. This is, as you can see, pretty empty. This is the latest card database of the last iteration of the set, of the basic set. I've started making some red cards, but other than that, I have basically nothing. So I'll have to start making more of them, but I have my previous card database, which I don't know if you were one of the people that got what's it called, a deck when I was giving out decks, but these are the cards that were used for those decks pretty much. I don't know if I changed some of the numbers, but pretty much these are the same cards. So I can't use this anymore because I've added too much to the game, and I've added 2 more colors, but these are the cards. And I have 10 planets, right? Yeah, 10 planets. Now I have 21. Okay, where is the database? Now, keeping in mind everything that I have come up with so far in the last hour, oh, exactly 1 hour actually, let's start brainstorming cards. I have never done this on screen, and I don't know how entertaining this will be, so let's go. Okay, let's go with color by color. I have 20 common cards of every color, 12 uncommons, and 8 rares. I've made it so that the what's it called? The math turns out that the uncommon cards are twice as rare as the commons, and the rares are twice as rare as the uncommons. What else? I have divided all of the cards into creatures, structures, and actions. This is a template. The actual numbers will change from color to color. Like green has less ships, so it will have more creatures and less ships. Let's go. Okay. Let's go back here. So red, as I've said, has direct damage, war machines. Okay. Do I have direct damage here at common? Yeah, I have. Card names deal 2 damage to an exposed object. For 1 red, 2 damage. This should be mediocre damage spell, not spell, action. The reason it deals only 2 damage is because the goal of the game is to destroy your opponent's, basically your opponent's stuff, to conquer your opponent's home planet by destroying everything that's on there. So each damage is very important. Okay, at common we have 1. Maybe we can put another. Oh no, I only have 4 actions at common. Well, we'll see. Maybe there will be space for another direct damage action at common. So war machines, max fast cheap ships, military personnel, turrets, and factories. I think I don't have a turret yet. Let's put a turret here. So red, as it's more focused on war, it will be as a bigger turret, I think, a more powerful turret. Let's just call it, I don't know, red turret. That's really vague. It's a building. Let's make it have range 1. Again, since the cards are common, they should be pretty simple to understand. And you can see here at the commons, they don't have much. Of course, they don't have much text, but if you go here, the common cards, reds here, they don't have much text on them. See, and then once you go into the rares, you can have more complex cards like this. When you play factory, choose a structure card from your card When you play factory, choose a structure card from your hand, I guess, that costs 2 or less, and remove it from the game. At the end of your turn, place a copy of that card and say blah 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 blah. So you kind of have to think a little bit more when you play this card. What am I doing? Range 1. Let's make it, okay, speed nothing, power Let's make it 3 power and 2 health. And so where is my... I should have gone more prepared. I have a whole chart of that explains how much power and health to how much, you know, how the cost and the stats relate to each other. So this, I think it's for a red and a colorless. I should get this. Yes, pretty much, yeah. Range 1 gives me, okay. This is a card. So we have a fast ship, a one-man fighter. Let's go a little bit smaller. The Z here stands for generic. Actually, I should be writing this down like this. All right. So far, so good. I don't know if this is actually really interesting or not, but I have to do it anyway, so might as well do it on film. Military personnel. I already have a gunner, which says when the gunner is in a ship, it gets +1 power. The ship gets +1 power, which works perfectly for the red strategy. Okay. Fast, cheap ships. I've got that. Mech at common makes no sense. War machine. Okay. What kind of war machine can I have at common? Can be used. Structure machine. I think the other structures have to be ships because you need a certain amount of ships to actually move your creatures around. So maybe a building and a machine that's good enough at common, and maybe you can cut a creature or an action and put another ship. So whether we have out of 20 commons, 5 ships, that's 1 out of 4. That's good enough, I think. All right, a small effective war machine. So what can it be? Sort of like a catapult, but in space, I guess. Let's put it here. Card name can go inside structures. So it's like a thing that you carry around, a small catapult, I guess, or a small, I guess, blaster thing. I don't know, a small... I don't have in mind the design of this thing, but I think it's some sort of a drone that rolls around, and like a small tank with nobody inside. So it will have since it's a war machine, I think it has a bit buffer stats. And I guess you put someone in here and operate it. Also, I guess it's a small tank. Yeah, tanks make sense. Okay, let's write small tank. Portable tank, actually, portable. All of the names here are beta. They'll change. These are just names that represent what the card is. And then later, once I have some lore behind all of this, I can change the names and make them actual. No, the gunner can be an actual gunner of a faction, I don't know, in space. But for now, it's just a gunner, regular gunner, because that's what it does. Portable tank can go inside structures, and it's a 4/4. So let's see. I really should get my okay. I need my notebook where I have everything written. I can't figure out how much this should cost. I think like 2 red. The thing with the ships and buildings, they have no ships and things that you need something inside of in order to attack. They have bigger stats than creatures of the same size, of the same cost, because again you need a creature inside of it, so you need to play 2 cards for it to do anything. That's the point. And the whole point of this tank, it can't move from planet to planet, so you need a ship, you need a creature, and you need this tank in order for this tank to do anything. So the stats have to be higher to make sense for you to have this tank. I don't know if it has to be common though, because as I've just said, you need a creature. So a creature, why do you need a creature? A creature needs to go inside of it for it to do anything. Then you need a ship to transport it. So you need already 2 cards. And having this at common, I think can warp. Maybe one of them is fine at common. Let's keep it like this, actually. You never know. Okay, we have a one-man fighter. In terms of ships, we've got a jet. And red may have a buffier, a bigger ship. I don't know. So let's see. Let's go back here. Fast, cheap ships. Max war machines, military personnel, turrets, and factories. Factories, I don't think, need to be common in red. Let's go over to creatures, actually. So we have a human gunner, a robot soldier. Let's go to this previous version. I had a lot of cards here. Can't think of many right now. So let's see what I have. I've got a soldier, basic soldier with no abilities. I guess a creature with no abilities could go in red with like high power and health. Got a lava hatchling. This makes no sense. Gunner, sniper. Sniper could work in red. Blacksmith could work in red, although this now goes more into the orange category. Okay, yeah, much of this has moved into other colors. Let's make a card that is just a basic soldier that is a grunt, I guess. A beefy guy. Oh yeah, for now the creatures are really small. Let's make him cost 3. So 1, 2, 3. Actually, I'll be right back. I'll get my notebook where everything is written down. I'll fix all the power and toughness. I'll be right back. Okay. This notebook is my Bible. I have everything written in here about the game, like lore. I've got all of the history behind like the 6 colors and how I came up with them. It's really a gold mine for nobody, just for me. But I'll just show you how much there is in here. So there's a big chunk of this where I figure out the identities of the 6 colors. Then there's figuring out the ideal. I don't know if you're actually seeing this. Let me do some. Okay, yeah. The size of the galaxy. Can't really see this. Figuring out the size of the galaxy and all sorts of stuff. At one point, there's here's where I changed it back to 4 colors, and then I try to figure out how fast the ships need to be in order that the game lasts a certain amount of time. And there is what I'm looking for. This is the curve. This is what I call it. Essentially, it says how much impact does a card have if you pay a certain amount of resource to play it. So, okay, if you pay 1 resource, you get 1 impact. That's the law. get 2 resource, you get 1.6, 3 you get 2.8, 4 you get 4, 5 you get 5.8, and this is it took a long process to figure out. I think I kind of explained it in episode 4 of Let's Make a Trading Card Game, but took a long time, and impact is basically what a card's impact is. It takes into account power and health and speed, and doesn't take into account effects, because that would be impossible to calculate, but at least it takes into account power and health. So where are the things? Let's say how powerful things are. Okay, ships. Yeah, so a ship that costs 1, it has exactly 1 speed, 1 power, and 1 health. This is the sort of the Mendoza line, the thing that the baseline for ships. They can be, if a ship has higher stats than this, then it's above the curve, so it's generally stronger, and needs to have a downside to be balanced. And if a ship is weaker, then it has some sort of effect. So for 1 resource you get a 1/1/1. For 2 resource you get a 1/2/2. For 3 you get 1/4/4. For 4 you get 1/6/6, and so forth. And creatures are different, and buildings are different. So, as I was saying, okay. A brunt. What's a brunt? A grunt. A grunt that costs 3 has power health 4/4 if it has no other effects. And since red doesn't have the strongest of the creatures, like orange has stronger creatures and green has stronger creatures, it makes no sense for the grunt to be like 5/4. I think an all-around big dumb guy is what red needs, since they're mostly focused on war and destruction, and you need the grunts for that. Let's put this back. I have my second monitor here where I put the stream, so I can see the stream as well. Let's put it back. Okay, and here we go. So there you are. I think I wasted enough time with red, even though I really haven't created many cards, because now I'm really picky about what cards to create. Back then, last time, I had things that really don't make much sense. A lava hatchling, it's a rock, it's a piece of rock which somehow is alive. It doesn't make any sense why it's red. It should be really orange or green even, but more orange, I guess. But it's not an essential part of it. Doesn't have a place in the base set. That's what I'm saying. Let's go forward. Let's go to orange. I've maybe added 2 or 3 cards. This is pathetic. I really am a lot better at it when I'm making the cards by myself. Okay, so we have rock soldier, I guess. I guess rock is just a race. It can be anything else. It's a 3/2 for 1 orange, which is, I think, above the stats. Oh, it's well above the stats. Oh, wait. Am I missing something? Ooh, I am. Okay, yeah. If it wants to be above the stats, what is? Oh, wait a second. Have I changed this? Oh, okay, yeah, okay. No, I've changed some things around. Okay, this works, yeah. 3/2, so 4/4 is actually 2 resource. So 4/4, a 3 resource is more like a 7/7. These numbers seem high if you've played Magic the Gathering, but they're not high, because in Magic the Gathering you need to deal 20 damage to your opponent to win the game. In this game, there's no such thing. It's just that the numbers have to be balanced. There is no cap on things. Like in Magic, it makes no sense to have a 24 creature, like 24 power, 24 toughness. Okay, the cheap battle droid costs 2/1/1 for strike. Card name survives in space. I think this is a little weak now with the new changes. 2/2. Okay, 4/4/2/1. Okay, this makes sense. 1/2. Yeah, maybe a little weak. I feel like red doesn't deserve as strong creatures. Yeah, a grunt maybe should cost 2. Red is more of a cheap color, so maybe, yeah, make it a 4/4 for 2 rather than a 7/7 for 3. Let's move on to orange. So minor. At the beginning of your turn, if card name is on a planet you control, add orange. The thing behind the minor is that if it's on a planet, then it's mining. He's mining. He's working, and when he mines, at the beginning of your turn, he gains your resource, orange resource. And I think this is a neat card that is flavorful and also quite useful for orange. All right, let's go back and see what orange has. Buildings, mines, boarding, creatures, generic ships, buffing, healing creatures, fixing structures. Okay, fixing structures. I think we can have a creature that fixes structures, and that can be sort of a carpenter, not a carpenter, a builder. Although a builder sort of builds buildings. Maybe we'll call it something else. So for now, most creatures will be human builders, but I mean humans. But in the future, I think they can. I mean, I'll change around races and add more races. This is just for stats purposes. These things. I actually should have explained why am I doing this. I'm preparing for test session next week, and so I need to have all of this filled out by that time. And believe me, creating cards that aren't terrible takes a lot of time. And as you can see, actually, builder, human builder. Okay, so if it fixes fixes buildings, and this makes no sense. Okay, a builder is fine, I think. Let's make a mechanic. A mechanic, I'm thinking, should be the one that fixes structures, and a builder is the one that helps speed up the process of building. Hey, there's somebody I know, Mr. Blitzer. Sorry I joined late. I only saw the notification on this stream now. It's okay. It's perfectly fine. It's Thursday. I'm not supposed to be streaming on Thursday, but I am, because what the hell? I have the time, and I have to work anyway, so I might as well talk to myself for 2 hours while I do it. And no, I'm not talking to myself. It's been a while, Mr. Blitzer. How are you? Meanwhile, I have to figure out builders and mechanics. So mechanic, he fixes things. So maybe it takes him a turn to fix a structure. Let me think. Either at the end of your turn, you can remove 1 damage from a structure of your choice. That makes sense. On the same space as mechanic. But yeah, I guess this works, yeah. although the miner does at the beginning of your turn. The reason the miner does at the beginning is so that you can't do other sort of attack with the miner and then get him off the planet and get him back on your planet, and just there isn't enough time for him to mine. So he sort of mines during your opponent's turn. That's the idea. And the mechanic maybe also can have the same thing. Otherwise, you have to check. You have miners and mechanics at the end of your turn. It's sort of easier if those cards have abilities that trigger at the same time. So I see that you've written something else. It has been a while. Yes, I'm doing great. I just finished the last of my GSSE exams, and now off for summer. Well, congratulations. I'm also I'm in the middle of my exams. Actually, I'm closer to the end. I have a few exams left, and I don't know what GCSE are. I'm trying to figure out what the words are. I can't seem to figure out. Are you in college or in school? Where are you? I was writing something. At the beginning of your turn, remove 1 damage from a structure on the same space as card name. Makes sense, right? At the beginning of your turn, okay. So mechanic has to be a bit strong, so maybe I'll make the miner a 2/2 and the mechanic a 2/1 so that they're different. And the thing is, you need to have a variety of different costs so that not all of the cards are the same. Mechanic, miner. I want to make it also a 1 orange and 1 colorless card. I don't know if that's maybe the miner. The miner is a little stronger. So let's make him an 0/0, which means orange. And mechanic has less strict requirements. Actually, this is a lot stronger. Make it like this for now. It's weird. It's kind of hard to balance these cards out. I have no idea how it will play out, but I'm guessing that overall the miner will do a lot more work. It will add more resource, which is also very valuable. I think more valuable than removing 1 damage, certainly. Builder, GCSE exams are UK exams which are done when you are at the ages of 15, 17. Okay, I guess I have no idea what they are. Interesting. So I'm guessing you're from 15 to 17 years old. I'm 21, almost 22 now, and I'm telling you, if I were doing this when I was 15 or 16, then it'd be a lot easier. What I'm saying is, back then, okay, so it was when I was 15, it was 6 years ago. It was 2009. YouTube was a lot smaller. The internet was a lot smaller. Not that small, but still, if you put a funny video on YouTube, chances are that a lot of people would see it, and it would get, if not viral, then it would at least get some views. Right now, television has moved to YouTube, and there's just so much competition that if you just put something out there, nobody will see it unless you work for it and unless you tell people, okay, watch this, put it on different sites on many different platforms, and kind of advertise. Otherwise, there's no way somebody will find it. Okay, sorry, I digress. Builder. Okay, a builder will help you build buildings. So it has to do something specifically with buildings. And what I'm thinking is it can make them cost less, or it can buff them. That doesn't make much sense. So, okay, let me think. It can say either when you play a building on the same space as this card, it gets +1 power, +1 health when it enters play. That's clunky. Or it can cost less. I guess if yeah, let's do it like this. Buildings you play on the same space as card name cost 1, oh, not 1, cost Z less to play. Z is the symbol I'm using right now for generic resource. It's confusing. I should really go back to 1s and 2s and 3s. I'm just so used to writing stuff as 1s and 2s. So this is the last base set version that I have. And there's, yeah, G, G1, G2, G3. I seem to recall you got you asked for a deck a while back, right? This is the set those cards are from. Oh, unless I changed some of it later. I think I changed, but not much. Most of the cards that you see are the ones that I gave out to people when I was making those decks. Okay, so let's go back to orange. So I've got buildings, mines, boarding, creatures, generic, ships, buffing, healing. Okay, let's add an action that buffs creatures. I don't have one right now. Sort of a giant growth if... oh, I have one, yeah. Power boost. Any creature gets +2 power and +2 health until end of turn. Okay. Maybe... let's go back. What else is orange capable of? Healing, fixing structures. I have one, right? Buildings. Okay, let's make some buildings. Although I'd like for buildings to be more generic. It's actually kind of hard to come up with orange any card actually, especially while talking simultaneously. By the way, Mr. Blitz, if you have any ideas or suggestions for cards, please go ahead. And we can discuss. Maybe you will come up with an interesting card or more. That's actually partly why I decided to do this live, so that there can be some input from you. Okay. Actually, look. Okay, let's make an orange ship. So orange doesn't care much for ships. It focuses more on humans and what they can do. I mean, not humans, creatures, and what they can do to help their cause. Ships are more of a means to get creatures places. So I guess there can be a ship with no abilities, have mediocre stats, and all around generic ship. So let me check my notebook here, where all of the cool stuff is. So I'm guessing generic ship costs OZZ, so 3. That's mid-range, I'm guessing. And what do you get for 3? You get a 661. No, you get a 911, 991. So for 3 resources, okay, 2, what's it called? Speed. This changes the math a bit. Oh, this is so hard. So a 991, if an extra thing. in speed costs. How much does an extra speed cost? 0.8. So another 2 of those. Sorry, so 2 of those, so you get to kick them back from 9, 8, 7. So 7, 7, 2, I guess, right? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, 12, 13, yeah, 7, 7, 2. The stats are higher now. I've fixed a few things with the stats. There was one thing that held me back. I was used to playing Magic the Gathering where you have 20 life and the goal of the game is to get your opponent's 20 life to 0. So you really can't make huge creatures in terms of power and toughness there, because if you make a 10-10 creatures that cost 2, the games will be really short. Too short. You need to sort of find a good balance of time, how long the games will last. And here there is no such thing as 20 life. There's just a balance of how much resources, how much do you get for, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Let's call it generic orange ship. These names are not final, obviously. They're just placeholders. Okay, let's make a building, actually. Since orange is a color of buildings. Okay, I have a mine here that gives me orange resource. But since orange resource is usually stuff that you get out of the ground, like rock or clay or bricks, and it can be something like a fortified, okay, it can be a wall, like a city wall. Let's call it a city wall. This looks like it could be a fortifying building. Common, sure, not that big, not that strong. And okay, so health, let's make it X and I mean O and X. Since the city wall depends on the largeness of the city, let's make it something like this. So the X stands for how many buildings you have. Okay, X is equal to the number of buildings. This will probably have to be reworded. You control on the same planet as card name. That's a really clunky way of saying what I'm trying to say. And what do you get for that? Okay, it doesn't have much power, if any. I don't think this building has any power. It's just a wall, so it has health. Let's see, so for one orange, you might get 5 units of power and health. So a 5 wall, right? A 5 health wall. For 2, you get an 8. Oh my god, this is really hard. So you might get an X. Let's say X plus 3 plus 5. X plus 4? I don't know. If it's an X plus 4, let's see. Then you have 0 buildings, let's say. Then if you have 0 buildings, for 1 resource, you get a 4 health wall. That's bad. I mean, that's below the curve. For 2, you get a 5. That's a lot below the curve. Oh, that's actually a really hard thing to balance out. Maybe this is not the right way of making a wall. Okay, maybe it's not a city wall, but a barricade. So that it's a fixed size, and you can make it, okay, 6 health, and I don't know, and have a nice ability that protects creatures inside of it, let's say. Or makes it so you have to destroy this barricade before attacking any other buildings. Maybe something like that. Yeah. Okay. I think I have some sort of card that's similar in this database. I really should reference myself more. So there is a city wall. Objects on the same space as the city wall can attack any other structures. Okay, this is kind of different. Barricade. Barricade can be boarded. Okay, yeah, this is a good way of defending creatures inside of it. Makes sense. So you have to destroy the barricade in order to destroy the creature inside of it. It's kind of not really an orange strategy though. It's a defensive strategy. It's more like a blue card. Shit. Sorry. This is sometimes what happens when you create cards. Okay. Hopefully you're getting an idea of how hard it is to create cards that fit the color, that are balanced, and that are flavorful, and all of that, and that are not specific and not really specific to one strategy. Mr. Blitze, are you still there? I think there's a way of checking what... oh yeah, there's Gamek1 and Mr. Blitze. And for some reason, I destroyed the chat. How do you go back? Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, the chat is still there. Okay, barricade can be boarded. Okay, let's make it a blue card then. Let's go back here and make it a blue card. Although, it's not really a blue card either, because blue doesn't really deal with this sort of buildings. It's more of a generic card, like it was back there. And generic cards are generic. What am I trying to say? Generic cards are usually either structures or creatures or buildings. Here it is. Common building. Barricade can be boarded. So it's a small barricade for 2. I think this is good. Like an effective way of defending yourself. And for some reason I referenced a card. Okay. The reason I'm writing card name like this is that when I change the name of the card, I don't have to change this, and it's big and bulky, so I always know that the card is referencing itself. And so when I will eventually change all the names of the cards, I'll have to. It's easier for me to change this. That's why I do that. Plus, Magic the Gathering does the same thing, and they have been making cards for a long, long time. Okay, so this is not a card anymore. I really want to make a building, though, sort of like a city wall. So I had a card that had city wall somewhere. Like here. Objects on the same space as city wall can't attack other structures. Yeah, okay. This makes sense. And this is more of an orange strategy. Wait, this is not the right one. No, here. Orange. Structure, common. There we go. Nope, objects on the same space as city wall as a card name, actually. Good thing I have already created a lot of cards that are useful and you know, playable. So this had a 9 health. It's actually it's kind of strong for a common. You don't want that many city walls against you. Let's put another clause here. Like there can only be one card called City Wall on. Oh, this doesn't sound like a common card at all. Let's make it rare. And so if it has 9, okay, if it's rare, it can be bigger than, not 123, but 12, for example. And making a card rare makes it so it's less likely in a limited game, like in a draft game, that a player will have 2 city walls on at the same time. So you don't have to think about. Oh wait, if there are 2 city walls on the same space, your opponent can't attack structures at all. So it has to reference itself. Objects on the same space as card name can't attack cards that aren't called card name. Wait. Okay, first let's figure out how much does it cost. So for get a 10-10, I guess 4. It's either 3 or 4. I think 4. So orange 2. No, that's overpriced actually. Orange 1. How it seems a lot weird because you get for 3 resources you get 12, but it doesn't attack, so it really doesn't help you win the game that much. It's just a good way to stall the game. Except that it has to say objects on the same space as card name can't attack. Can attack. Okay. Objects on the same space as card name can only attack card name. No, wait, that doesn't make sense. Can only attack structures called card name. I'm not sure. Am I doing this right? Objects on the same space as card name can't attack any other structures other than card name. That's what I had, right? Oh yeah, no, that works. Yeah, thank you. I should check the chat more often. Can't attack any other structures other than card name. Okay, this is better. This is a long, arduous process. And let's go to rare. Yay, we have a rare structure. Oh, this is taking so much time. I still don't have a common structure. Okay, maybe we can come up with a few more creatures or an action maybe, and then we'll go on to yellow. I want to do a little bit of all of the colors today so that, I don't know, you get like an idea of what the colors do. So I wasted a lot of time already. Let's make an action, for example. So there's a power boost, and let me think. A thing that orange can do. Orange. Stuff like remove all damage from a structure you control, which like fixes things. Although if there's a mechanic that does that sort of thing instantly, How cheap does a card that just fixes something have to be? Yeah, let's make it. I don't know. It seems kind of narrow, but maybe it can be. Let's call it quick fix. Again, for now. No subtype. Remove all damage from any structure you control. No, actually, no. Let's just keep it like this. Let's keep it simple. So the mechanic removes damage from a structure. Yeah, I thought it removed damage from a building. Okay, I guess that's what orange does. And how much for this effect? I'm guessing either 1 or 2, not more. So if power boost is 1, let's make this 2. Because I guess you can remove a lot of damage with this. Let's make it O1. OZ actually. Oz. Dr. Oz. Alright. I've got a few creatures, a ship. Okay, let's move on to yellow commons. Ooh, I don't even have a yellow creature. Alright. So, let's go here and check out what yellow has to offer. Trade, politics, cities, hired professionals, deals with neutral planets, cargo ships, diplomacy, and card draw. Let's see, does yellow have card draw? No, it has actually cash in, adding resource. What color has card? Oh, blue has card draw. Trade. Okay, let's make a merchant then. Seems that if trade is one of the big things that yellow does, merchants should be common. Creature, I don't know what subtypes. Let's make it human for now. I want to have a theme, a sub-theme, or maybe a couple of sub-themes that carry about creature types in the base set. That it kind of encourages people to build certain types of decks, tribal decks. Okay, so merchant. Let's see, first of all, instead of coming from scratch, let's see if I have a merchant here in yellow. Snail, citizen, merchant. Discard a card, add yellow. So what does it do? It trades a card in your hand for resource. I guess that's sort of what merchants do, although they trade all sorts of stuff. Let's see, pirate, human thief, corruptor, spider, citizen. Pirate ship, cargo ship. Let's go to the uncommons. Contrabandist. I don't really like what the merchant does. Discard a card, add yellow. One of yellow's strategies is to, get rid of things that you don't need in order to get more gold. But I think a merchant should do the opposite. You give him resource, and he gives you cards. Because you buy things, you don't sell things to merchants. Although you can sell. Oh, let's make it both ways. No, that's too difficult for a common. Let's make then 2 cards. Maybe one can be called a trader and one a merchant or something. So they have similar things. Similar names. Again, this is just for now. So one buys things from you and one sells things to you. Let's say for how much resource you can buy a card. So if you get 2 resources every turn, how many turns does it take to buy your card? These are some questions I don't have the answer to. One card, the fact of owning a card is worth 0.4 impact. This doesn't help me much. Okay, let's make it so... Okay, I remember that in Magic the Gathering, you pay 4 resources on a creature like that gives you cards. But the thing with the resources in Magic is that they stay there. You can pay for every turn. With my game, you can't pay for every turn because your creatures, your planets create 2 resources every turn. So it has to be less than that, I'm thinking. Either 3 or 2. 1 is too cheap, obviously, either 3 or 2. So if it's 2, for example, you trade your resource for the turn for a card, and you can do it every turn. So essentially, if you don't have a cheap thing to play, this turn you can pay. Yeah, cheap things are, I don't know. I think 2 is the right amount. It might seem crazy. I don't know. Is this too powerful? So merchant, how much? I don't know. It doesn't seem that powerful because you pay resource to play the card. It's going to be weak. It's going to cost some amount of resource. So yellow and 2, for example. I think this is fine, actually. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. This is why testing is very important. It tells you how strong these cards are. Because maybe it isn't worth to pay 3 resources and then another 2 to draw a card, and you have this crappy little 1/1 creature. Anyway, the trader does the opposite. So discard a card, add 1 resource. This, I think, works. I think this is what the trader or the merchant did in this version, right? Discard a card, add Y. Add thing. Because, of course, you'll be discarding your worst... actually, let's write from your hand. Because discard will mean something different. You can discard things from your deck, for example. And this means discard a card from your hand. I was saying you will discard the weakest card from your hand, right? So you don't get much. Like, for 2 resource, you get a card that can be bad, it can be good. It's a random one. For 1 crappy card, you get 1. You don't get as much resource. That's why. Plus, you can discard many cards in 1 turn and get more resource. So I think this works. Does it work? Again, I don't know. I'm speculating here. Let's make it cheaper, maybe. How much does the merchant cost in this version? 4, and it's a 2/4. Why is it a 2/4? It's too powerful. Make it a 1/1 again, or maybe a 1/2, and make him cost. This is weird. This is hard to calculate. Let's make it. Yeah, I think this is fine. Because the thing with yellow is it will be an expansive thing, and cards are more important than resource to yellow. Because you can play cards on any planet, and resource you can only spend on the planet it's on. So this is why I think this works. Maybe I should up this to 3. Not sure. Okay, so we've got the trade part of the color set. You've got 2 common creatures that do what traders and merchants do. Nice. Now, I want a peasant, like a person that doesn't do much, cheap, really cheap, like something that costs just yellow. Do we have things that cost 1? Okay, there's a gunner here. 1 card name is okay, so 1/2. So a peasant, I think, if it has no what is it? No, if it has no what's it called? Effects, then a peasant should be a 2/2. No, a 3/2 or a 2/3 actually, which is a little too powerful. So it has to have an effect. What's the point of a peasant? Is that he pays taxes? Maybe, yeah. If peasant is in a building at the end of your turn, add 1 yellow. Will there be a video uploaded on Monday on making it? Yeah, I haven't made it yet, but I think there will be one. I'm preparing to film it. Of course, you would ask that. There should be one. Of course, every time I've said there will be a video, there hasn't been a video. So I'm hesitant to promise anything, but between today and tomorrow, I'll try to make as many cards as possible. I've made 6 resource symbols, the new resource symbols, which, as it turns out, they're not good at all. I hate them. They need to be changed, almost all of them. But I'll show them off, and I'll talk about the speed of the game. I think I haven't talked about the speed of the game much. So I have this and that to show you off, and I've asked Vasily to make another image, so I'll have that to talk about. And the exams are almost done for me, so I have one tomorrow, and that's the last one, I think. I mean, it depends if I pass it or not. It's a strange thing, but if I pass it tomorrow, then I'm done with exams. If not, then I'll have anyway. I don't know what was I talking about. There should be making a trading card game. Let's make a trading card game on Monday, if everything goes well. So that's that. I was saying something about a peasant. So he pays taxes for the house that he owns. So let's say that if card name is in a building. No, not this. At the end of your turn, I'm just speculating here. If card name is in a building, add yellow, right? So the point is that he is a taxpayer, and he adds a resource, gives you gold as a taxpayer. So he can be a 1/1 as well. I don't know, trader and merchant. There are too many 1/1s. There needs to be a little bit of a variety. Card name is in a building at Y. So in order to get resource, you need a creature. You need this creature. You need a building, and this creature cannot do anything else. So I think even if it costs 1, it should be all right. It shouldn't be overpowered. I don't know, not sure. Because for 1 yellow, you get 2 resources up front and nothing else. This feels like a weak card. But the fact that you can play multiples and get the resources right away, maybe it makes it okay. Maybe even a little powerful in certain combo decks. At the end of your turn, if card name is in a building. Okay, let's make it at the beginning of your turn, so you can't add resources right away. Okay, makes sense, right? Let's test it like this, and maybe I'll up it to 2 resource. I'm not sure. Maybe this is fine. I like this card a lot, actually. Okay, here we've got 3 creatures. I think that's enough for the purposes of today's thing that we're doing. Structure. Let's make a ship, yellow ship. Okay, let's go back to here. Actually, first here, yellow. I figure that hired professionals deal with neutral planets. Cargo ship. Let's make a small cargo ship. A cheap cargo ship. Let's see. There's a pirate ship. Second-hand ship. This is terrible, actually. Cargo. Shields and 1/5, and no power. Okay, this can be a characteristic of yellow cargo ships. They don't deal damage. What am I doing? Let's go here. All right, let's call it cheap cargo ship. I've never told about this ability that I had for a while that was called cargo, that went on ships, that said that you can put resource on this ship and move it from the planet to a ship. And it turned out to be incredibly slow. Maybe I'll make it work someday. And the idea was that you move resource from one planet to another, so that you have more resource on one planet to spend at the same time for a huge thing. And I think that there has to be a way to make this work. The problem was that it took more time and effort than it was worth. And I used to have like cargo 2, cargo 5, cargo 7, and I don't know. I want to have this ability, but I'm not sure how it will play out. Let's what the hell? Let's just try it out anyway. Cargo. Without a number, I think. It's just a cargo, so we can put any amount of resource in here. I think this, I don't know. Should there be a cap? I don't think there should be. Maybe there should be. I don't know. So it's cargo ship, so it's slow, 1 speed, and bulky, like 4. And it costs yellow and 1 because ships cost more usually than creatures. Let me see. A ship for 1 is a 3/3 for 3/3/1. This is a 1 for cargo. Okay, I think I can make it even cheaper. This is a little bit overpowered, I think. Yeah. So this is more like it. Cargo 3. Now let's make it a little bit bigger. It's too small. It is not as a cargo ship at all. For 2, you would normally get, as I said, a 3/3/1. This is a 5/1 with cargo 3. I think this is fair. There we go, cargo ship. Now I've reintroduced the mechanic just like that, just because I can, I guess. And I guess this can be yellow's mechanic, and maybe orange can have a few of these cargo ships, but that's all. I want to give every color a mechanic, ideally. Okay, so we made 3 creatures and a ship, and let's make an action then. So we got cash in, and let's see what we have here. Actions, actions, actions. Ceasefire. Objects can't attack during opponent's next turn. That's good, because here I've written down that one of the major things that yellow does is diplomacy. So maybe a ceasefire is a thing that yellow would do. Although this is a little unfair because you can still attack them on your turn. Let's make it a ceasefire, yeah. But make it more symmetrical. So how do I say it? Creatures, just creatures, right? Or objects. Wait, where is it? Objects can't attack during. Where is it? Okay. Objects can't attack during your opponent's next turn and your next turn, let's say, or this turn, your opponent's next turn. This turn makes no sense because you can still attack, and then you can ceasefire. So it really doesn't. It isn't really symmetrical. So let's make it can attack during your and your opponent's next turns. Right? Does that work? Let's write it. Holy. Opponent's next turn, turn, and your next turn. I think this has to be reworded in some way. Your next turn and do you have any suggestions? This because your opponent's next turn happens before your next turn, so it makes sense for it to be written like this, but it just doesn't sound right. Your opponent's and your next turns. Does that make sense? I don't know. Okay, so how much does this card cost? It's symmetrical, so it can't cost that much. It's an action. So either 1 or 2, I'm guessing. It helps stall. I guess you can wait, you can pay your whole turn to do just this. So I guess a yellow and colorless. I keep forgetting to write this as a Z. There we go. And that's common, sure, fine. Okay, enough yellow cards. I think this gives you an idea of yellow's identity. Let's go over to green.